All right, starting this week, the New York Times requiring its employees to return to the office 3 days a week, but more than 1,300 are saying no. One of their video journalists tweeting this out. The New York Times is giving employees branded lunchboxes this week as a return to work perk. We want respect and a fair contract instead. So I'm working from home all week, along with 1,300 of my New York Times Guild colleagues. Part of their demands includes raises of more than 13% with no mandatory return until next summer. Here to react, Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Will Cain. Will, why don't you make demands like that?
I'm working on it, to be honest, Brian. Now, we'd all like to work from home, wouldn't we? As I work from home, as I speak, working from home. This is actually directly tied to the union's desire for higher wages. It's sort of a sit-in or a work from home or a sit out, if you will. They want whatever it might be, 8% raise in wages, and they want it, Brian, to deal with inflation. So what it strikes me here is the New York Times is living with the baby they brought up. Everything they're experiencing right now is a result of the policies largely advocated by the New York Times over its lifespan. We're not going to pretend that it doesn't advocate. We're not going to pretend that it's an objective, unbiased voice. It's, of course, an advocate. And what's it advocated for? At least over 2 years, Brian, it's advocated for, a loose monetary policy, further government spending that's led to inflation. It's advocated for stronger unions at every step of the way, and it advocated for stay-at-home policies during the pandemic. It advocated for all of those things, and now it's in its own home. Those policies are chickens coming home to roost, and they're seeing the effect of somebody saying, you know what? Yeah, I do want more money because of inflation. I do want to work from home, and I am going to use my union to accomplish these goals.
And I think a lot of people, I think probably 2/3 of these people would say what you just said. The other third go, really? I'm going to go to work with all the crime, with it so costly? I'm worried about the pandemic still. I'm worried about getting the virus. I'm concerned about my health. You're supposed to be an aggressive organization pursuing the stories at all costs. Instead, you want to sit home on your iPad and Zoom yourself into work and work alone in your pajamas at home. That's just not going to be the case. Here's what the Times says. It says we continue to believe that a hybrid work environment best suits the New York Times at this moment. Like they have a choice. Look at how many people, over 1,000 people, said no. A union gives them backing. They have no choice, Will. They're trying to save face.
And it also makes you wonder, is the New York Times attempting to hold back the tide? And what I'm saying is this an inevitability? Again, over 2 years, they sent so many people home. Are they going to be successful then bringing them back? Also, here's another complicating factor, Brian. The newspaper industry hasn't done well over the last 2 decades. I can tell you that. The New York Times is an exception. It has done well. But you have now an employee base who wants to live in the world they've lived in for the last couple of years. Well, the New York Times done well, and they get to work from home. I do wonder if those employees are in for a rude awakening if they think there's a better world for them out there in the world of journalism. I'm not sure they're going to find that. Maybe they're very talented, like, for example, Glenn Greenwald, and they could go establish a Substack. But otherwise, good luck at your regional newspaper.
And if you have to stay at home and you want to listen to something that will educate you and enlighten you and change your life, get the Will Cain podcast. And Will, that came from the heart. It was not in the prompter.
I knew it. I know. I felt it. It felt warm.
Will Cain.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.